Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel. Tap the notification bell. I'd appreciate it majorly. Alejandro Ripley, this 9-year-old autistic boy who was abducted last night around 9 p.m. Thursday night in Miami. I think it's Southwest Miami, in front of a Home Depot when his mom was basically ran off the road by another car with reportedly with two men who basically were following her and then sideswiped her and forced her into like one of those concrete mediums that you often see like at construction sites or just a divider on the road. Ran her off the road into that and then basically kind of boxed her in the way they positioned their car. The passenger of the car got out of the car and demanded drugs. According to police, she insisted she didn't have any drugs. Then they stole her phone and pulled the boy out of the car and then took off. And this was about 9 p.m. last night. There was an Amber Alert issue, and then the search continued. The police gave a press conference immediately following, responding to the incident. Making the number one priority of getting the child back. His body was found this morning in a nearby like pond or lake of a golf course, Miccosukee Golf Course. It's only about 3 or 4 miles from the location where the boy was abducted, where the mom was ran off the road, and so forth. It's obviously extremely bizarre. Other witnesses saw this happen, so it did happen, and witnesses recall, said that the men drove off in like a blue sedan, I think 4-door. Apparently, they didn't appear to be armed. So there was people. It was right in front of a Home Depot parking lot at 9 at night. So a fair amount of people must have at least seen it from a distance. So it's not clear if the manner of death of the boy, if he was killed and then dumped in the lake, or if he drowned in the lake. That's a picture of the golf course lake right there in that report, and it was the Miami-Dade or the FDLE, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. I'm not absolutely sure what. I think that's who issues the Amber Alert, but basically they tweeted this morning that the boy was discovered, dead in the lake of the golf course. Here's where the abduction, or the car running his mom off the road happened approximately, and here's the golf course, and it's one of those bodies of water. I'm not exactly sure which, but it's only like 3 or 4 miles from where this happened. There's a picture of the car right, and his mom's name is Patricia Ridley. It's just so unusual. There's a picture of the car right there, and other witnesses saw it. They saw something happen, and they saw it, but it's just so strange. Just so strange what happened. I don't fully understand. First, I like where the car that ran her off the road into this concrete divider here, and then was positioned in such a way that basically blocked her door blocked her from getting out of the car. I assume it's a 9-year-old boy. He would be sitting in the back seat, so they were still able to. I mean, maybe they're basically at an angle here, pointing forward into her car door. They still can open the back door. They, I guess, can get in here to demand drugs from her, and she again insists she didn't have any drugs. Why they would have thought she had drugs in the first place, why they targeted her, is definitely a big question. And then we're able to, I guess, maybe just rip her phone out of her hand. I'm assuming she had it on her, because if it's on the passenger side door, if it's on the seat, on the passenger seat, they wouldn't be able to get it that easily unless they actually enter the car and so forth. And then this is happening in the middle of the night, or at 9 at night when there's people around, pretty quickly. So, and but there are witnesses that the car sped off. Blue sedan, four-door with two men. She described them as two black men, one maybe with cornrows. I think that's what you call them. And but you don't see any marks on the car here, on this side. And I don't know. And why, so somebody else must have called the police because she didn't have her phone. And why she stayed there, why didn't she follow after the people, is also a question. I mean, it's possible the car is incapacitated at that point, that it's damaged on the other side that don't allow it to drive further, or just wouldn't, the engine wouldn't start at that point. Who knows, but it seems like it's not even moved from where it was smashed into the divider and ran off. So it doesn't seem that it was. But everything happened so quickly. But the boy was discovered this morning, dead in the pond not far from there. It's obviously terrible, and I think there's still more to this story. I mean, why they specifically selected her, and why they thought she had drugs, and managed to get her phone too, which I assume is still in their possession. I assume it's turned off, so they're not able to track it. But I don't know. It's just it's definitely a perplexing story. So, I mean, initially a couple. I think it's just confusion in the reporting. One report said that the car got in front of her, so that so that she couldn't drive. She couldn't drive, anymore, and it basically forced her to stop. But another one doesn't say that. Another one says it basically blocked her door so that she wasn't able to get out. And these are basically coming from the police that are giving a press report when the child was still missing, when there was an Amber Alert, and basically just repeating what he was told, through by his detectives or whatever. When the driver of the car tried to sideswipe Patricia Ripley. She veered off the road in front of a Home Depot parking lot. The driver of the car then drove ahead of her and blocked her. And this is what I mean by there's just different accounts. The passenger of the vehicle exits the vehicle, approaches the mother, and demands drugs. She says she does not have any drugs, and so the passenger at that point reaches in, grabs her cell phone, steals her cell phone, and takes her child, said Miami-Dade police detective Angel Rodriguez. The two men and the boy then drove off in a blue four-door sedan. Police do not believe the two men were armed and said the mom did not recognize them. Police questioned those who work at the Home Depot and the boy's family. She did describe them. I don't know where Daily Mail is taking it from, but she did describe them as according to the agency, Alejandro, who was autistic and nonverbal, was pulled out of his mother's car by two black men driving a light blue four-door sedan. One of the suspects was possibly wearing all black clothing and a black bandana as a face mask, and may have had cornrows in his hair. A spokesman for the Miami-Dade Police Department said during a press briefing overnight that Alejandro's mother, 47-year-old Patricia Ripley, was driving in the hammocks area of the city when she noticed a car following her. Shortly after, the pursuing vehicle forced the woman off the road and crashed into her car to block her in, reported NBC Miami. Actually, in this NBC report, it does say that she was blocked in. She couldn't get out of the car. The boy's mother, Patricia Ripley, 47, told police she and her son were followed and ambushed by two men in a vehicle who demanded drugs on Thursday night. The driver of the unknown vehicle attempted to sideswipe her vehicle, a police statement said. The vehicle then blocked her in while a male passenger ambushed her demanding drugs. After stating she didn't have any drugs, he then stole her cellular phone and abducted her son, fleeing southbound in the unknown vehicle, the statement said. Shortly after midnight, authorities issued an Amber Alert and asked the public to keep an eye out for the boy, but not to approach the abductors. A child's body was found Friday morning about 4 miles from where Alejandro was reportedly taken. And that's pretty much the story there. It's obviously a shame, And I don't know. I think there's still. It's just very very unusual. Very unusual. Lots of questions. I have questions. Anyways, thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.